Hello, and welcome back to the Accountability Room, where women gather to talk about books, business, and everything in between. I'm your host, Becca Chaffee, and this morning I am here with Jenn Shaw, founder and accountant, All Accounting LLC, and Gofan from Strategic Alliance Group. Good morning,
Hello.
ladies.
Hi.
Good morning. Here. So last week when we connected, we talked about the growth edge that you didn't expect and how growth shows up in ways that we aren't really planning for, um, and different ways that we need to sort of pivot to flex and allow for that growth. Before we jump into this week, how did that show up for you? What was your past week like?
My gosh, my week has just been very messy of life and work and all of the things. Very specifically with Growth Edge, I feel very accomplished with a business related decision of ultimately, we hired, quickly found out that it was not the right fit for us, and deciding to make that choice instead of dragging it out for the both of us and trying to make it work. And is it good? Is it not? But really taking that high lens of a business decision and not putting it on personal side. And for me, that's a huge growth because in some other of my businesses before, it's like, no, we're just going to make it work because it's what we have and we'll just push forward with it. And it doesn't end up feeling good long term. And so being able to have that higher visibility into just what's right for the business and not thinking, I mean, we did plan and really look into it. It wasn't taken lightly, but it was a rather quick decision than typical Jen.
Mhm.
So,
That's great. You didn't drag it out and wait months down the line, a year down the line, and that you were able to make that decision quickly.
yes.
Those kinds of decisions can be really tough because there's so much weighing in on it. There's that like desperate hope that this will work out, right? Because expanding your capacity is a huge part of growing your firm.
Mhm.
There's that relational piece of wanting to be like, "Oh, well, maybe more training can help," or, "Oh, I really care for this person," or whatever else. So there's a lot that goes into it, but at the same time, when you do not have the right fit for your team, it is draining, not just of resources, but of your entire drive, your motivation, of all of it.
Yeah.
That's a hard decision, and I will say huge kudos because I have known you for a long time, and that is not your normal. You're usually like, "I'll just work around it, and I'll double
Yes.
my hours, and I'll just find a way to make this work and get quiet."
Yes.
No, that's huge growth for you, so
Yes. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Pat on the back.
Pat on the back.
Yes.
Well,
that's a
for
growth I
me,
maybe didn't expect, yeah. Yeah, hit me, Cove.
growth was I finally got the IT side, together. I
Okay,
Good.
I actually went to the pros and they set me up. So I got that
nice.
part together. And then
Yes.
I am also doing 60-second videos, getting comfortable in front of the camera. I haven't posted anything yet, but I am doing that. So those
That's
2
huge.
really huge, especially the video part. That's really huge for
Yes.
me.
I love
Absolutely
that.
love it.
Mhm.
The video piece is so vulnerable, and it's wild because you have a depth of knowledge that you can share, and if you were talking to somebody in person you would be happy to share that information. But all of a sudden, when you're talking to a camera, it's like,
Yes.
you just shrink and
Exactly.
get tiny and
Mhm.
start questioning, which is so funny because there's no reason for that, and yet we all do it. So I'm really proud of you. That's
We
exciting.
all do it, and most people that really know me think I'm an extrovert, but I'm
Mhm,
really an introvert. So getting in front of people talking, it's like so scary to me. I start
Mhm.
sweating, palms are sweating, and I
mhm.
get so nervous when having to do that. But just on a regular social level, I'm the life of the party.
You are the life of a party.
For sure.
I do get that. I think it's also amazing what can happen after you just get started. Once you can get through that initial friction, as soon as you're talking and you're rolling and you've gotten your brain around like over the hump of, oh, there's a camera in front of me, and you're really just back into the information share and outlining your expertise in accounting, you can sort of just flow differently. But if you get your head stuck in the camera, the transcript, the teleprompter, and you can't get over that, that's when you welcome all the, and holy Hannah, it's hard to get over that hurdle.
Oh my
And just
gosh, yes, it
watching
is.
Jen videos from the very first one to where she is now, I see the growth. I mean, it's
Yes.
perfect. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna get there.
Mhm.
So I'm looking up to you, Jen, because now you
Oh,
looking at you, you're just so laid back, so comfortable, and everything is just flowing. I was like, okay, I'll get there.
Yes.
yeah, it just takes time, and I think that's with everybody that I've seen online, and they try and mention that. It's like, you can't compare someone's chapter 10 to your chapter
Right.
1. And it
Mhm.
Right.
is really important to know that there is past people, and it takes sometimes years to get where it's at. I have been filming now, I think my first one was in the end of October, beginning of November. So it's been multiple months now. And I'm still like today, I did my live and it was rough because I took a week off. I was very stressed last Friday and yeah, getting back into it, even the getting back into it is like, okay, we got some edges that we need to smooth out here, but it's just jumping back into it for sure. Getting that
Good.
regular.
I think i- this goes back to, okay, I'm just going to introduce this week's topic because I think this is a solid segue. So, the topic of the week this week is the cost of playing small. So, what that looks like is not always obvious, right? It can look like we're doing the responsible thing or the safe or the nice thing or I'll wait till I'm ready or I don't want to get it wrong or it's good enough for now. It's not.
Hey, I don't
Playing
have
small
everything
is
set
not
up
going to help you.
yet.
Yeah,
Everything's not perfect.
my tech
All of that.
lineup's not perfect. I don't have the right tech stack, right? And
Mhm.
so what that leads to is missed opportunities and delayed growth. And
Yes.
if you're staying in a version of your business that's comfortable and that you've already outgrown, you are not helping you, you are not helping your business, and you are not helping your team. So what made me think of that was the introduction that Jen shared of that business decision that was hard. It was a view of growth. The smaller decision would have been the comfortable decision. I'll just stay, I'll just keep making this employee work. It's not the right fit for my team, but I'll lean into it. And the way that it rippled
Yes.
out throughout the business is so fascinating because it leads to being scattered, right? Like your thoughts are all over trying to figure out and pick up fumbling, frayed lines. You're tired, you're pulled in different directions, you're not yourself, you're questioning yourself because you're not doing
Mhm.
what you know is the right thing to do, which removes your confidence. The cost of playing small is really interesting. It's sort of invasive in ways that we don't think about it. Like
Mhm.
when we don't show
Mhm.
up for ourselves fully and truly and the way that we know that we should, we feel it. What
Mhm.
does that look like for you guys?
Well, I'm one kind of proud of myself and where I'm at. Like I said before, it was I the person I am today is vastly different from the person I was in my 20s and my 30s. And it's definitely choosing to not play small anymore. I'm a recovering codependent, so that people pleaser, and I think that's part and a huge part of playing small is you're basically saying yes to everybody else's ideas and calendars and thoughts, and you get too exhausted with everything else, and so you diminish your own things and okay, I'll do that later and I have these other things, or you just spread yourself way too thin. And I think as I've grown, I've realized I can't do that anymore. Or the also idea that I'm also a big self-sabotager or used to be a self-sabotager and in choosing ideas, well, I'm just not even going to put myself in feeling uncomfortable because I know that even though this spot here may not be the best spot, I know and it's predictable and I can choose this. But that just puts us at a like Becca said, a timeline that is so long because we can't pivot and change and really gain momentum with our own ideas and thoughts.
Can you go back? I want you to clarify something because what you were saying, I think, is different than what I heard, which was that you don't put yourself in discomfort, which I don't see true here now. Are you saying that you used to avoid
Yeah,
discomfort and now you lean
I
into it?
yes, yes.
Okay,
I think that
cool.
over the years, I have learned that no one ever is gonna have the right answer, ever.
Mm,
And I
mhm,
think that we get ourselves into analysis paralysis, and
mhm.
we just think that this video is going to be the one thing that's gonna help us. This conversation with this person, okay, that's going to be the thing that they know all. This course that I'm going to buy, okay, they really have it figured out. And honestly, no one has it figured out. And
No one.
once you realize that piece of it and you're only 60% sure, but you can feel and lean into that uncomfort, that's where you can go from playing small to really just taking your own and diving into who you want to be. But it takes
Exactly.
practice. And I think that's the same thing with the videos. Like there's no perfect thing, and it it can get perfected over time, and it's not perfected over time, it's refined over time because things change, personalities change. I
Mhm,
mean, on our podcast, we went from 5 people now to 3, and life happens, and so
Mm,
you have to be able to navigate that and insert it into the new. So, as long as you're feeling good in your body with your decision, just go for it. Be uncomfortable.
exactly. Jan, you hit the nail on the head for me because there's always a webinar. There's
mhm,
always, some class. I mean, there's something just, trying to take all
mhm.
these things just to make the, situation perfect. Then you
Mhm.
start. But
Yes.
that's not always the case, and then what works for one may not work for you. I mean, a lot of it is good information, but you have to find your lane, what's gonna work for you and how everything is gonna flow. And that takes time, consistency, and practice. And sometimes failing or,
Yes, also that.
right. Well, maybe I shouldn't use the word failing, but for things it
Learning?
may not work out like the way you envision it, but now you know what not to do, so then you try something else. So, you are preaching to the choir, Jan, when you said that. I'm like, that is me all the way. Just there's one more class, and then when if you doom scrolling through social media, there's always somebody who can teach you how to do something
Yeah,
better than what you're doing.
Mhm.
always the solution. I
Mhm,
think what it comes down to for me and that cost of playing small, what I'm thinking of as I'm hearing you speak is that the things that we can do when we're playing small, so hoping that somebody else has one more training that'll dial us in or hoping that someone else can get guidance is we're outsourcing our nervous system. So we're putting our power into the hands of somebody else. Once I finish this class, they'll
mm,
tell me what to do. Well, you're still waiting on their knowledge. Once I do this, or once
mhm,
this person's okay, or once I feel safe here, pause. Like, stop giving away your power and be uncomfortable in your own body. That's the reason you were outsourcing it in the
exactly.
first place. And the more that we're able to sit in our body and feel that, like, ooh, I really hope I can do this, but push and take the next step, it's going to help you. Every little step forward is a sense of empowerment. You mentioned with Jen's videos, months ago, there was more hesitation, a little bit more quiet, a little bit more timid. Okay. And then the next week was another step, and there was a little bit more confidence. And then it was another step, right? These are incremental gains. And it
Mhm,
takes time to really be able to hold control over your own body and let your body be the guide. It takes time to
mhm.
learn that.
And quit asking or waiting for permission,
Yeah.
just do it. Just
Mhm.
do it. Like, for me, it's the fear. Failure, what if it doesn't work? But like you said, Becca, what if it does work? You just gotta put that
Yeah.
first foot forward and just do it, and then comparing yourself to others. Looking at again, social media. If you look on social media, you would think everybody has this figured out but you.
No, nobody has it
So
figured out.
what's wrong with you? So you start comparing yourself to,
Yeah.
what other people are showing.
Yeah.
I
But
was thinking about that yesterday, when I was mowing my lawn, and I I have a nice big yard, I'm very thankful for it, but it takes time to mow. And so as I was going back and forth, it gives me a lot of time to really think, like, what do I want? How do I grow? And what's holding me back? And each path down the yard, it was a reminder that I still haven't taken that first step. I still haven't pushed myself. And then I started asking myself, okay, well, what happens if I do take the step and I fumble? I'm still here mowing my lawn. Nothing changes. What happens if I take the step and I thrive? I'm still
mhm,
here mowing my lawn. I'm just thriving. So,
right,
like, at the end of the day, do or don't, right? Like, nobody's
right.
actually watching you. It's fine. Give yourself a chance.
Mhm. Nelson Mandela really said it well. He said, "There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living."
Mhm,
Mm,
I love
mhm. I can relate. Yesterday, I am in a sorority, the best there is, the first Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated. So today is actually me and my line sister's anniversary. So some of us went out to dinner yesterday, and my one line sister who put everything together, when we got there, there were inspiration cards sitting at where we sat. So it got to the point where we all was able to read our cards, and one person card read, "Fear is an asshole," and that was so perfect. Everybody loved it. I
Yeah.
was like, "It is."
Mhm.
So we just got to throw that fear out and take that first step, take that first imperfect action and just
Mhm.
see what happens and take it from there.
Mhm.
It is true though. Fear is meant to just be a warning sign. It's never meant to be the driver. And when you put fear in charge, it does not have the tools that it needs to lead. You're spot on. Fear is never going to be the appropriate person on the driver's seat.
Mhm.
Ooh, I love it.
Exactly.
Let's talk about how we're going to be navigating this in the business. So now we understand a little bit about what it looks like to be playing small. I think all of us can relate, and usually it all comes down to that emotional piece. It's very rare that a business doesn't just take off and launch if there's not something a little bit funky happening inside, or oh, I don't know if I can, or oh, I don't know, or whatever, right? So
Mhm.
you got to get your house in order, and by that I mean your body. Get your mind right, and get over the hurdle of fear or worry.
Mhm.
But then now we're going to be talking about how do we harness that growth. So we've seen how it hurts the business. What are some ways that you've seen that you've been playing small, and how are you going to pivot? How are you going to right the ship?
For me, it's not being visible. How is anyone gonna know what you have to offer if you're not visible?
Hmm.
Just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. We have all this experience behind us. We've done the work. We can do this work in our sleep. We just need to get in front of people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what will that look like more specifically for you, Co? You said the video,
The
and then I think if
video.
I remember, you were also looking into some nonprofit networking tools, right?
Yes.
How else are you
Join
gonna?
some, associations,
Mhm.
just start getting out there. Just, trying to be more visible.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I think for this week, I'm really going to search and find what can really grow and be good for the business. Continuing to show up. I actually have speaking engagement in a couple weeks of preparing for, and yep, knowing that planning for it is really important, and continuing to accept those things and harness those relationships in order to get those speaking engagements. So connection, emailing, and staying with it.
I think that you're spot on to outline the importance
Mhm,
of in-person connection too, though, Jen. I don't think that that can
mhm.
ever be understated. Video is critical because it's sort of like your online resume. People are not going back to look through your CV, right? They want to understand what it is that you can offer. So having some sort of online video presence, I think, is really important. However, our
Mhm.
business has seen the vast majority of growth through in-person connection. Each time you speak, you meet somebody, they connect with you,
Mhm,
they
Yeah.
have a chance to
mhm,
really meet you, which is really what's most important when growing the business. They want to know who they're working with, especially something like accounting that's so vulnerable. So I think, yeah, that in person piece.
mhm,
And I totally encourage you to do that too, Co. Starting with the videos for sure, but
mhm,
getting those in person connections is key.
mhm. You're right. You know, my doctor one of my doctors told me that, a few months ago, I was getting a physical and we started talking, "How's life going?" So I started telling her what I was doing, what I'm trying to do, and she was like, "There's no better way than the old-fashioned way, is getting in front of people and talking
Hmm.
to them."
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's
I
true.
do think they really go hand in hand, though, is both the comfortability of talking kind of to the video and to someone. Both I wouldn't be able to do the in person if I hadn't practiced on the video, and I wouldn't have been there's not enough experience for the in person if I don't do the video. So they really
Mhm.
do, yeah, go hand in hand. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a resume. People look at that stuff
Mhm,
all of the time. It also helps just like having these conversations to also have conversations with our clients.
mhm. I agree, absolutely. The 2 go hand in hand, talking in front of the video and talking to people face to
Mhm.
face.
Mhm.
All right.
But
I love it. Oh, go ahead.
I was like, but for me, sometimes I just don't feel like talking to anybody.
Come on.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be
Or go
on
to
100%
another
all the
networking
time.
event, sitting there small talking, but stuff we have to do.
I am glad you said that though, because it's such an that's a huge driver for why people stay small. Because burning bright is freaking exhausting, right?
Mhm,
And so you're right. When there's these networking events or the having to film the video, it is easier to stay small. It is easier to stay home. So I do just want to acknowledge that and that it's the cost of playing small is not that you're actively trying to sabotage your business. You're
mm-mm.
scared or you're
Scared.
tired. Yeah.
Mhm,
And so again, that's the getting your house in order. That's the how do you find your breath? How do you recenter to the point where you are safe in your body enough to move forward for one step at a time? Because that is the cost of staying small. That feeling of choosing comfort doesn't just go away. It comes back as a sneaky little voice later in the evening of the should haves. Then you just start shoulding on yourself that evening. I
mhm,
should have gone. I would have had this client if I had done this. I should have done
mhm,
whatever. So keep in mind that choosing that little choice or choosing to stay small, it stays with you. It's not like it's a
mhm,
one and done decision where you just move forward, right? There's so much more to that. It's either those invasive thoughts in the evening of, oh, I should have, or how could I do this
mhm,
again, or why did I stay small? And it keeps your business from growing. So if you remind yourself that you're going to have discomfort either way, why not choose the discomfort of growth? But
mhm, exactly. Because if you stay small, there's lots of missed opportunities.
so many. Okay. Well, now that you've heard how we're navigating this, I want to bring it back to the listener. So here's the listener's challenge for the week. Identify one area where you have been playing small. So not where you're overwhelmed. Those are not the same things, right? So if you just have a lot going on in the business, that happens. You can feel overwhelmed. But where you know that you're capable of more and you're not choosing to show up for yourself. So ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What feels risky? Why am I scared? And then what is the actual cost if I stay where I am? And sometimes just naming the situation can really help you. So first even identifying I'm scared. I'm not actually overwhelmed. I'm scared. Okay. Cool. Now you found the real reason. And now what happens if you lean into that fear and let that be the driver? Once you've had that little internal conversation, take a step forward. It doesn't have to be a big one, but it does have to be intentional. So write out specifically what is it that you're going to do. Are you going to film the video? Are you going to go to coffee and conversations? Are you going to grab that next networking event and give your card to 3 people and shake 3 hands? Give yourself something specific. Because again, playing small, it feels comfortable in the moment, but it really adds a lot of long term limitations and pain down the road. So ask yourself, what would it look like if I showed up fully in this area? And let yourself noodle that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, thank you for spending time with us in the accountability room today. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with somebody who needs the reminder that playing small has a cost, and so does stepping up. So the difference is really the impact that it creates.
Mhm.
Join us next week when we discuss marketing when you don't feel like it. Thank you, ladies. Have a great day.